In the dim corridors of 14th century Europe, long before stethoscopes or antibiotics, before the scent of disinfectant ever touched a hospital hallway, there walked a man with a lantern. His shadow stretched unnaturally across the cobblestone walls, flickering with each gust of wind that hissed through the narrow alleys. The townsfolk called him physician. Others whispered darker names: bleeder, leech lord, soul draftsman. He wore a mask shaped like a bird's beak, filled with herbs and vinegar-soaked rags. They said it kept the bad air out, the miasma that brought pestilence and death. He said nothing. He merely walked, lantern in hand, through fog thick as milk, toward the dying. The human body, the doctor believed, was not a machine. It was a battlefield, a tense, constant struggle between four fluids: blood, phlegm, black bile, and yellow bile. Each had a temperament, an alignment, a mood. Too much black bile, melancholy. Too much blood, fever, rage, desire. Disease was imbalance. The cure: restore equilibrium, even if that meant bleeding the patient into unconsciousness. So the physician carried with him an arsenal: leeches in clay pots, obsidian lancets, herbal poultices, and a thick, handwritten book filled with diagrams of stars and organs alike. For the stars guided health as much as herbs. Midnight was his prime hour. Diseases, after all, bloomed in the dark. It was on the 6th night of December, the cold chewing at the stone walls of the town, when the physician was summoned to the home of the miller. The man's child had fallen into a stupor, eyes wide, breath shallow, skin pale as morning frost. The physician's home was part apothecary, part library, part grave. Jars of dried mandrake and foxglove lined the walls. There were skulls, bones of horses, men, birds, all bleached and labeled. It wasn't macabre. It was necessary. By his desk was a map, not of lands or kingdoms, but of the human body as imagined by Galen: spirals and circles, tubes and humors, fire and air. His practice was not science as we know it. It was alchemy, astrology, and faith bound together with twine. Some nights, he would sit by a dying patient's bed, watching their chest rise and fall in agonizing slow motion. And sometimes, in the final moments, the patient would speak strange things. The river is inside me now. There's a bird at the window. It knows my name. Don't let the shadow crawl across my throat. He would nod, gently pressing the herb-soaked cloth to their lips, whispering a prayer and waiting for silence. Not because he expected a soul to rise, but because silence was the last diagnosis. He'd walk home alone, his boots wet with dew, the stars indifferent above him. The physician died in the winter of 1352. His body was buried in the edge of the churchyard, though no stone marked the grave. His book survived, passed between apprentices, copied by candlelight, amended by monks. Generations later, a modern doctor found a page in that book. It read, "Balance must be sought not only in the body but in the world. For when shadow grows too thick, the mind will call it fever. But perhaps it is only grief given form." The physician never knew he was a bridge between old and new, between myth and medicine, between candlelight and the cold clarity of science. But we remember him still, in stories, in sleepless whispers. So if ever you wake at night and feel the air heavy with memory, if your chest tightens and your breath catches, imagine him.